All right. Ho, ho, ho. And I hope everybody is having a good time. Not expecting a lot of traffic today, but I am building some Terminators. So we'll see. Opened some presents earlier because my wife insisted. I was like, I'll just wait until next Christmas and open them, but she really wanted me to open them today. And then she made us delicious dinner. We eat dinner early because we're old. Hey, Merry Christmas to you, Daniel Barry. Saxius. All right, let's see what's up, Saxius. How you
Oh, I'm good, thank you. Yourself?
I'm pretty good. Sleepy, I think,
Yeah.
but I can take care of that because one of my Christmas presents my wife had me open is sugar-free black cherry monster. You can't get these
Oh,
in stores, so she ordered me
nice.
a case.
Oh, an entire case. Nice.
Yeah, so that's my wife. So I'm
They,
hooked up. TCG, what is up, homie? Yes, I'm building more of these fancy Terminators. The sat the well, I can look. Legion of Astartes Saturnine Heavy Assault guys, and then let's see who we got here. We've got a Timmy Pilkington. I don't know if you know this or not,
Hello.
but he's related to Carl Pilkington.
oh, okay.
Possibly. I mean, not not very immediately. Probably a very distant relation there.
So what you been up to,
Uh,
Saxius?
I mean, so works making me well, not making me. They gave me an offer to basically move away from being on the call center or on the phones, and I'm now going to be moving over to effectively. I'm going to be doing internal audits. So I'm going to be making sure that whenever we have someone that honestly reports that they made a mistake, I go through what the event was. And I'm then basically writing up, like going like this. The problem is clearly they weren't trained properly. The problem was that they were just being negligent for what they were doing and that sort of thing. So I'm being put in charge of that. And it's
Sounds
had
like QA, basically.
yeah, it's quality and assurance, just an internal thing.
Right.
Um, So yeah, you're spot on for that. So that's what I've been doing with my job effectively, and I've been getting a lot of positive feedback. That I mean, the department manager basically told me that what he needed from me was that I needed to hit a high level of accuracy because what we've
Right.
seen in the past was that problems would be reported, and the problems would then be something from yesterday, which meant that we had to put it into today. But then because it came in late today, the people who would be doing it didn't have the enthusiasm to actually stick around to put it in on the same day when we had to. I've shown that I have that kind of enthusiasm, so I've just they kind of want me to be the one who like sticks up until like the very end of the day, and then make sure that like anything that's late is put in the system. So I've been able to meet that quota, which is making everyone happy. And aside from that, I've gone down a rabbit hole for my Rogue Trader game,
Mhm.
and
I know a
uh,
little bit about the job because my daughter got promoted to the promotion you're getting, like maybe a year ago.
yeah,
She started out call center and now she's like in charge of a team and listening in on calls and making
yeah,
sure. Um, I was really surprised that she's only been there like a year or two, maybe three. I don't know, but she's already making more money than I ever did as a firefighter, like per
I,
year.
I don't know about that at the moment. It's a conversation I'm gonna have with my
Well, I mean,
My boss-
maybe she's one step above you,
Probably, yeah.
and you've
like-
got to. But yeah, I mean, people, those call centers, man. If you can work your way up the ranks, you can make decent money. I mean,
Yeah, I
you
mean,
can be really good.
the specific company I work for, they do finances. It's like in the finance world rather than the shipping world. So it's already a lot more money we're talking about. So the pension that they offer to me, that alone is very incentivizing for me. So I'm like, all right, well, for that alone, I'd love to just.
You need to taste that? I gotta go taste a little peanut butter.
That's fair enough.
Oh,
I will bother Timmy instead.
Yay!
Yay! All right, Timmy. So, are you familiar with Warhammer 40,000?
Not really. I
No.
tried to get into it, didn't.
That's fair enough. Sci-fi. Let me turn around that. Like, is sci-fi something that would interest you?
Oh, definitely. I've
yeah.
been very fond of sci-fi. Mainly like Mass Effect, old school
yeah.
Battlestar Galactica.
No, you know, definitely. Let me work on that vein because so my game is Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader, but it has
Yeah,
a
I
lot
know
of
of
like
that.
effectively, but like you take a lot of like the Mass Effect where you have to go and scan planets, or Firefly where you're working on the frontier. So I've been going down a rabbit hole of 40k because my players are playing in that, and they have in the part of the universe that I've developed, they have unintentionally gone all the way over to like the extreme frontier, like to the part where civilization doesn't exist, like the Omega sector from a Mass Effect, where you've got nothing but criminals running the game. So my players have landed there, and what they've been told by the Trade Federation, I mean, just trade in another name, is that there is out in the distant stars something that's referred to as an STC, or a standard template construct, and effectively this STC would allow you to create a product where you can feed it raw materials. It will use a pre-programmed calculation of the planet to help you colonize that planet by producing what you need to have to move towards being a very well-developed planet. Now, for everything I've told you so far, Timmy, this sounds pretty good, doesn't it? It sounds like a very useful item to have.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can imagine that if you are like the individual who owns this STC, that you want to have that. You want to keep this one like in your hands. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, it does sound like it.
Super. So that's what I've like dangled in front of my players, and my players, thankfully, they turn around and say, you know what, we're gonna bite into this hook, line, and sinker, and we're gonna go for it. So I've made them go into a part of space where they've been told like over and over, this is very dangerous. This is like so dangerous that even that no one has tried, no one has successfully come and colonized this part of space because it's filled with so many hostile aliens that it's been indemnified. It's just been classified as being so dangerous and so hostile that no one wants to go there. But that's where the last place that this STC was found.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Well, there's no sacrifice too great to make to get your hands on an STC.
Exactly. So my players, quite familiar with the law, have basically gone, well, the fact that it's an actual STC, that's very important. And I gave legitimate reason why they had to go in there. So the product itself needs to be calibrated for the various different planets of extreme. So like if it's extremely corrosive, you put the product down there so that it can understand how to adapt to such an environment. If it's extremely hot, it needs to learn how to adapt to such an environment, so on and so on. So basically it can pre-calculate in its insane algorithm how to prepare for this.
Right.
And the players are going like, okay, that makes sense. And if they have these pre-calculations, they can then put that into the STC, and then you can build more of them with all of this pre-made. The players have arrived and they were given the exact stops from where these explorers were going to go to, like get their calculations and get all this information. They arrived at the first planet and they've come across an alien species that's adopted to the vacuum of space. They can travel between star systems without needing to go into faster than light and survive. Now, for those who are more familiar with 40k, I have taken the Tyranid species and just filed off the finer details, and I've put that in that system. And I've also put the Drukhari in that system.
Right.
Because the players need to. They were warned. This is a dangerous part of place. Oh, this is a dangerous place. It's a dangerous part of space. And for you, Timmy, the Drukhari is like the Drow from D&D.
Oh yeah, okay.
They
I knew
are
of the Tyranids at least. It's just the Drukhari was a little bit more new to me.
yeah. So it's
Yeah,
just
the Dark Eldar are like, catch you later off grid, being called to all a good night. Yeah, they're I would say they're worse than the Drow. I mean, they are.
Oh god, yeah.
They're
So-
probably the worst thing
They
mean,
are worse than the Drow.
in
The-
40k.
the-
Like you don't want to get caught by these guys.
To briefly summarize the Drukhari for you, Timmy, imagine the Drow needing to. So you know the Drow will capture you, torture you, and do all that lovely stuff. But at the end of the day, they do it because they're just evil. The Drukhari will capture you, torture you in ways where they will splice out your nerves and play it like a saxophone because that makes you scream a lot and that gives them sustenance. They rely on your pain and your misery to survive. The longer they can torture you until you are nothing more than a husk of yourself. And even then, they will extend your life just to keep you going. That's what the Drukhari is.
Yeah, that's kind of their worst aspect, and
So if you're-
also
if you're
it's
gonna-
not just about the torturing. Sometimes they might make somebody that really aggravated them. They might turn that person into some type of furniture
Yeah.
that they will then just keep around for like thousands of years.
Mm.
And they have to elicit this torment because that's how they keep she who thirsts from eating them all. And that, of course, is the demon Slanesh. So like, and it keeps them young. So like,
Yeah.
Dark Eldar that torture a lot of people, they tend to be young and beautiful and like smoking hot gothy elves with lots of knives and shit. If they go too long without being able to torture people, they start getting old and gray and
Yeah.
until
But
they
that's-
torture some people, then they can get it back.
Exactly. So that's the first planet that they've arrived at. They've got pseudo Tyranids. Now, again, I'm not using Tyranids for one. I am scaling them a little bit back. Hello, Bear.
Hey, Bear.
I clearly arrived at the right time.
That's all right. I'm getting it all out of my system. But
Okay, I won't be here for long anyway. I'm off to Christmas dinner, so
I already had my Christmas lunch, I guess.
But yeah, so the players have arrived there. There's the Drukhari, there's all of that going on, and I've then gone down a long rabbit hole where I've done all of the other NPCs. I've rolled up what they've done, and the players have set up a bunch of colonies, and one of the colonies have had saboteurs sent by a rival rogue trader to basically cause the entire colony to collapse so that the rival rogue trader can basically come in and annex the entire system and declare an entire subsector to be his.
Mm-mm.
So that's what I've been doing.
William Sova, it could be worse. The Dark Eldar have to feed off the souls to basically placate Slaanesh and keep themselves young. People in Minnesota have to eat lutefisk, and I would rather do the first than the second. Saxius lutefisk is a Scandinavian fermented rotten fish that people in Minnesota eat.
Yeah, the Danish people would know nothing of this.
Yeah, that's not my thing.
Yeah,
that's more of an Icelandic.
And Icelandic.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's basically literally rotten fish, and they eat it every year.
Very,
Tell me
very
what strange things we do in Canada next.
No, this is what they do in Minnesota, asshole.
Yeah, but it comes from Scandinavia, asshole, where he's from.
It doesn't matter
asshole.
where it comes from. You can go up to Minnesota once a year, and they have this big freaking celebration where they eat horrible stinky fish.
I see Santa Claus didn't give you what you needed this year.
Actually,
A good swift
only
kick in
opened
the
a couple
ass.
presents because I'm saving the rest for real Christmas.
Orthodox Christmas. Yeah, okay. Have fun.
Yeah. So I got some decent stuff. I hope my wife liked what she got. Oh, my wife bought me a case of black cherry sugar-free Monster.
Nice.
You can't get this in stores. Cherry-licious.
Brought to you by Monster.
Yeah. Hyperborea brought to you by Monster, now in sugar-free.
Given all the
Oh,
conspiracy
guys.
theories about Monster's logo, I would absolutely believe that then.
I have to, first off, I have to say I saw this on Asmongold. But I've never known Asmongold to lie about stuff. Apparently in the new first-person shooter, not Battlefield, the other one everyone likes so much,
Call
Call
of
of
Duty.
you can buy the skin for Gorlak the Destroyer.
Okay.
Do you know who Gorlak the Destroyer is?
Yes, you don't need to explain.
Can you
that.
imagine a 24-on-24 Gorlax just running around? That is, I would sit and watch that game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
not being
Call-
12 years old, I don't find it funny. Crazy.
yeah, but Call of Duty has just moved in that direction. They don't.
Or he, I don't know. Honestly, I'm not sure which it is. So I assume her, but maybe him. I don't
Just say
know.
they.
Okay, but I
It
just would love to see it's like Call of Duty battle, and and it's like Escape from Tarkov, but everyone is Gorlak the Destroyer. That is so good. And you know what? I am young at heart, Bear.
Clearly,
I'm okay with
sophomoric.
that.
The term we use is sophomoric, but that's okay.
Okay, Canadian with your big English words that I don't know. Whatever. The fuck ever. All I'm saying is that what I'm saying though is I thought it was hilarious. And
Yes,
if,
but you
and if
have
Orlac
that level
made
of
some
sense
money
of
off
humor.
it, good for they.
And you have that mocking sense of humor that I don't have. So it's okay that you think it's funny. I just don't think it's funny. I just think it's stupid.
Dude,
That's all.
it's a win-win. We get to see a giant fat they them run around shooting at each other with machine guns, and the giant fat they them made some money. This is a
Yay.
win-win for everybody involved.
Oh, well, not for me because I don't give a fuck. So I lost time listening to it. So there we are. It was a win-win-lose.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't know why you're apologizing. I just didn't find it funny. Jesus Christ, James. You didn't write it. You don't have to defend it like it's your IP.
Well, I was apologizing so you'd feel more at home.
Oh, fuck you.
Like, like you're hanging out with
Jesus
Canadians.
Christ.
James.
Except I did it wrong. I was
What are
supposed
you?
to
What are you talking
say, I was
about?
supposed to say beer. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Sorry,
What's this about?
Yeah, because we say a boot a lot. We also say outside. That's what we refer to the great outdoors as, outdoors.
I think there might be one tiny little group of Canadians that say a boot, but I don't think
Yeah, no,
as common as
it's not
Americans
every one of them.
want to believe.
It's not our fault. You say out. We don't. There's no W in it, so I don't know why you call it out. Like it hurts.
There's no W in it. I always heard it spelled OWT.
Of course you did. You went to the outhouse because it hurt. to
Wait,
poop.
have you never watched like Tom and Jerry when like the woman who owns Tom, the black lady, is always telling Tom if you don't catch that mouse, he's gonna go OWT out. No?
It didn't translate into Danish.
Those were great cartoons.
Well, yeah, I know of Tom and Jerry, but like that specifically did not translate to Danish, so they didn't include it.
Yeah.
Right.
C'est la vie.
C'est la vie. C'est la vie.
All right, calm down, Robbie.
Sorry, man.
Robbie Neville.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, last night I watched Shadow and Sun for a bit. I watched you for a bit. I gave you a thumbs up.
Thank you.
Then I listened to some of the most brilliant Canadian music ever written.
Which was?
You already know. I'm going to run to you, cuts like a knife.
No, you and your fucking Brian Adams obsession.
Well, Brown Adams and Nickelback are awesome. And I'm
Yeah,
tired.
no, they're not.
They're
They're really not. I don't know how you get there, but enjoy the trip.
I like them. I don't care.
Yeah, right?
well,
It's like-
okay, maybe it's a living in the hills thing. I don't know what to tell you guys.
I mean, when the feeling's right, I'm gonna run all night. So Leth was listening to Sax describe how horribly he's going to kill his entire group.
Good for him.
Yeah. Are they going to run into like Termagants and Hermagants, or are you really going to F them over and have them encounter like an early stage Gene Stiller?
So I've got Hermagants prepared for them and a Tyranid Warrior.
Oh,
That's the immediate ones I've prepared for them.
yeah.
Outside of that, again, like that's assuming that they go and interact with it. At the moment, they are obsessed about a random alien spaceship that I put in the system. So they've gone, oh, we need to go and investigate this, that's fine. I'm going to do some sci-fi horror for them, and they can enjoy that. And then that's how I'm going to have the Drukhari and the Dark Elders sneak up on them and attack them, and it's not going to
Drag
be
them
nice.
off to hell.
Well, so the players they have NPCs that's come along with them who are contracted to be with them. So I want to target the NPCs to whittle away at their help. Because the players...
What? No, Hive Tyrant. Calm down.
Yeah, no, it's not that. The players have... they had a session where one of the NPCs basically said, like, I need your help to go and get the replacements for my ship. The players decided that they didn't want to do that. I rolled behind the scenes. Things worked out fine, but I gave the players a warning that if you don't actually help your allies, they won't get what they need, because your allies have got certain standards, and if you don't help them, they won't get it. That's just the mechanics side of things. But that's what I prepared for them. Effectively, once the players engage with the off-brand Tyranids or the Teemo Tyranids, they will realize that there is the whole immediate evolution, and they're slowly going to adapt towards what they fight, which should terrify them.
Unfortunately, just passing by, I have been let know in no uncertain way that Alanis Morissette is not Canadian, even though I thought she was.
She is?
I thought you said she was from California.
No, Alanis Morissette's from Ottawa.
Oh, never mind then.
I love how anything remotely Canadian somehow becomes my fault.
It is
Because
your
someone
fault.
told you some shit. I never told you Alanis was not fucking Canadian. And Avril Lavigne's from Napanee, which is in Ontario as well.
And where's freaking Uncle Joey from?
Uncle Joey? Isn't that John Stamos?
Okay, the other uncle.
He's from California or Indiana or something. He's American.
The one that everyone kind of thinks is the one that
Yeah,
was
he's
banging
American. Yeah, she was in LA when she was fucking him.
Alanis when she was like 17 or 18.
Oh, God bless him. Good work.
You know, whatever, right? But anyway, that campaign sounds a lot of fun.
I am having way too much fun. Like it should be illegal how much fun I'm having with this. Just not non-stop logistics and discussions, and we're going to be hammering the players down where they have to then sit and go, here's your colonies, how would you like to progress, here's the spreadsheets, what's the inputs you guys want to do. Is like I know at least, well, two of my players are going to run away the moment that happens. Well, I know 2 others are going to be absolutely ecstatic. But I cater to a certain crowd, and I'm fully aware of it, and I don't care.
Good.
So, have you ever considered
Therapy
in your life, if you ever got to play a game, playing a lawful evil paladin devoted to, I don't know,
I have done the lawful evil paladin. I've done him to death. The lawful evil paladin is actually named Saxius.
I know.
Yeah, so I've done that. I say recently. How long ago was it? Oh, sorry, that's 5, 7.
Well, Bear
7,
won't
8.
necessarily be super whatever, but in the game Hyperborea, you can play a paladin, right? But you can only be lawful good or lawful evil.
Yeah, but so the last time I played as a player, like it was Vampire the Masquerades. I played as a Vendru, so the businessman. Yeah, I know, great shock. I cornered the storyteller, and I said, "Here is a PowerPoint presentation. It is me reviewing the last 10 decades of stock analysis and stock market progress of the Detroit real estate market versus
the GM quit. Is that what happened? He just said
he told me to fuck off while I was on an actual like gaming thing where I showed him the thing and I showed him the metric, I showed him my references, and he just went, "Oscar, please fuck off. I am not going through that. Jesus Christ, what is wrong with you?" Well, the other players whom I have had my moments of just smirking out because I had a hyperfixation moment. Well, the NPC that I perceived to be a threat, I was having a smirk moment. That NPC needed to be removed. That player got to witness the dark side of my spurkiness, which was I went a little bit psychotic. And he told me that I probably should have help for what I do. It's better that I'm the DM.
Well, I'll tell you what. Admire this Roman.
I do admire that Roman.
He's charging for it. He's got his Scutum. He's got his frickin' Pilum. He's getting ready to make some Celts rue the day they ever exited their mother's womb.
You guys know Metatron? You ever watch his stuff on YouTube, Metatron?
Yeah, Metatron. He's pretty cool.
I've lost all fucking faith in the guy.
What'd he do? I haven't seen.
He keeps correcting people's Latin pronunciations. And it's like, motherfucker, you have no idea what it sounded like just because you live in Italy. You're giving an Italian pronunciation to it. No one knows what Latin sounded like. No one.
I would take the word of a Romanian over the word of an Italian as far as
I've watched him do that now. Like I watched him watch a bunch of Roman shorts, and he kept correcting people's pronunciations of sputum and stuff like that. And I'm like, you don't fucking know. There's no recordings of what they sounded like. Stop. That's pretentious.
If I wanted to have if I wanted my corrections, if I wanted my pronunciation corrected, I'd just return to Yo Geek.
Exactly. Jesus.
I just mispronounced that.
My favorite thing to do with him is
because the Y in Old English is a TH.
Yeah, jeez.
How you doing, nerds?
And Saxius, it's your fault because it was the Danes that brought that freaking TH bullshit to England.
I will apologize for nothing.
There you go. How you doing,
Correct
Hungar?
answer,
Hope
sir.
you had a good Christmas.
I've been so much better, brother.
That doesn't sound good.
I got the shingles.
I got the Rat Patrol on the Gat Patrol.
Folks trying to make sure my casket's closed.
Yeah, I got fools trying to make sure my casket's closed. So I thought you went to Mom's.
Yeah, we came back today.
Oh,
We
well,
went there
I
yesterday.
don't want to hear your whining.
Went there yesterday. Mom made baked chicken, barbecue chicken, beans, and taters.
There's
Yeah.
Janet. Hi, Janet.
And today we had lasagna with fresh baked Italian sourdough bread.
That sounds good.
Yeah, nothing you should be eating, but okay, whatever.
It's Christmas. What's it gonna do? Kill me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it
If
was
I
well.
might try.
Worth it?
Yeah, worth
The
it. Gotta be
Kaiser
me.
did.
Worth it. You know, Hungar, we had crockpot raviolis.
Nice.
Yeah.
I had a nice roast beef sandwich with Havarti cheese.
Damn, I
melted
should call my ex.
roast beef.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anywho, what were we talking about though? The guys, yeah, Latin, nobody knows. But I do like that guy, and I do like to watch his videos when he's fighting with the one woman that swears up and down the Roman Empire never existed.
What?
That chick. She just
Yeah,
woke
there's-
up on the crazy side of the bed and was
You know,
like,
she's
yeah,
pulling off an epic level troll, and all the little Romanites are responding exactly how she
there's a
wants.
woman online who was trying to tell everybody that Rome never
Hi, Janet.
there was never a Roman Empire,
Okay.
that everything we know is wrong, and that we're actually living in a different time period because 300 years
I'm going
was
back to Christmas
removed from the
cake.
calendar, and I was like, wait, what? I mean, the costume is
She's
there.
part
I
of
said,
that too.
you know, it's like,
She's part of that too. The whole missing time bullshit.
yeah. She was also talking about the whole when they switched the calendar over, that like we lost
Yeah.
300
It's
years.
a
The Dark
Charlemagne
Ages
thing.
also never happened. It was all
Yeah,
made up.
it's a Charlemagne thing. The 300 missing years of the calendar. The problem is, the Indians, the Chinese, and a couple of other societies had pretty good fucking accurate star charts that show us that the time actually passed based solely on just things like Halley's fucking comet.
Yeah, the Japanese know about all the time.
You know who I would go to, honestly, if we're going to ancient cultures for time, I'm going to the Mayans or Mayans. Let's pronounce it correctly, Mayans. Because those dudes were so hardcore with time. I mean, like, it's nuts how precise they were, you know? Makes no sense. The Mayans, the Aztecs, all of those Central Americans, man, they freaking...
I know I've mentioned this before, but you notice how people are always saying that aliens and stuff built the Egyptian pyramids, but nobody doubts that a bunch of old-timey Mexicans built the pyramids down in, South America. Because
Well, it's because we can build step pyramids. That's easy.
yeah, because those Mexicans can build anything. You've ever seen them on a roof?
Where you going
Yeah.
there?
When I worked construction, we called them deck fairies because they're little and they show up in the morning. And man, it's like a domovoy. You know what I mean? It's like you blink and your shoes are fixed. It's crazy how hard and fast they work.
My uncle, when he owned a construction company, he used to try to just hire as many Mexicans as he could because he knew the job was going to get done and it was going to get done right.
Yeah, here
We're
in
not-
Florida, for the most part, we ain't got any problem with our Mexicans. Our
Yeah.
Mexicans are cool, man.
We ain't trying to diss on the Mexicans. I'm not dissing the Mexicans because they work.
They do work their asses off. I mean, it is insane.
And you know what? If you talk to them, they talk their wives into sending extra tacos and stuff to work for like $4 a week.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Good people. But anyway, Saxus' murderous group. Timmy is God only knows, honestly.
What?
Yeah, what? Timmy's
mean,
character got killed by a giant squirrel.
Nobody's died by a giant squirrel. One of our characters died to a gargoyle.
Well, gargoyles. I mean, there's no shame in dying to a gargoyle.
Yeah, no,
There's
but it was our gnome illusionist who was very solid. I feel sorry.
Yeah,
for him.
we've already agreed. We all think it's for the best.
Here, did you go over to your friend's house for Christmas? Bear.
Yeah, that's right. I tuned out. What's up?
Did you go over to your friend's house for Christmas, or are you doing
I'm
that later?
Going soon. I gotta start getting ready to leave. Actually, in about a couple minutes.
Awesome.
Go have fun,
I,
man.
Squirrels, scrolls. I don't give a fuck. Woo!
I hope you have an awesome time.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Those new songs you sent last night, they were face rippers.
I'm glad you enjoyed them. I'm glad you're enjoying the entire idea of Final Age. Thank you.
Yes.
Me too. I'm enjoying the entire idea of it as well.
I'm
you
telling
got to read
some of
what
my
Hungar
friends
and
about-
Sax have read because they're reading the advanced stuff that's coming out.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's good.
On the other hand,
can't
Todd, you've been kind of a jerk to me, so I kind of hope you get diarrhea from the dinner you eat tonight.
I've been kind of a jerk to you. How have I been kind of a
Little bit.
jerk to you?
You've been calling me out on, just because I'm Canadian, blah, blah, blah.
What the fuck?
Well,
Those words have never
you
come
were-
out of my
you were-
mouth.
You were telling somebody from like the Norwegian area about lutefish.
You're telling a Scandi what a Scandinavian thing was. That would be like me going, Florida, by the way, has a lot of oranges. And you going, and me going, yeah, oranges are this citrus fruit that's actually orange in color and hangs off of trees. Like it was that.
See,
absurd
I'd be
statement.
polite, just nod and be like, yeah, cool, man. Cool.
Yeah, well, there you go. He
The
was
Baron's
polite and just
just
nodded,
upset
but I
because-
decided to just fucking call you on it. Sorry, go ahead, Sandra. Sorry.
Bear's just upset that he hasn't had his daily allotment of maple syrup yet.
That's clearly the problem.
You know,
Clearly.
Bear,
I'm about a half pint down, actually. I get topped
You know
up.
how
Top-
loosey-goosey they get. When
Get
they
all antsy in the
add their
pantsy
maple
without
syrup.
that syrup, you know?
you know, Bear, a lot of Floridians like taking copious amounts of drugs and doing crazy things.
Alligators are this creature that you can find in Florida. They live natively in the swamps.
Yep.
I am the true Florida man.
Betrayed.
Dumpster goblin.
Betrayed by my so-called brethren from the Commonwealth. I'll never forget him.
I don't want to go to this dinner, to be quite accurate.
Yeah,
Earlier,
but
you were happy about it.
No, I'm just trying to be happy about it. I've come close to canceling 3 times today, but now I'm finally committed to going because my buddy's on his way to pick me up because we're both going there.
well, you need to, man. Get out of the house.
No, I don't.
Isolation
don't.
is the worst thing.
No, his wife annoys the living shit out of me, and then his son's girlfriend is going to be there, and she's an annoying pain in the ass. If it was just the guys, it would be fine, but there's going to be a bunch of women there, and they're fucking obnoxious French women. Ugh.
You know, I found out that women are just as sexist as men are, but we're better at it, along with everything else.
I knew that was going there.
We're just competitively better.
Yes.
Look, Bear, if you want to make this night better, just get Hungar to give you a few jokes to go with to send with you.
And as the new year is coming up, I've decided that I'm going to quit with all this racism for fun. I'm going to
You're gonna
start
do it
doing it for
professionally?
I'm going to start doing it professionally.
Competitive racism, that's your future.
That's right.
God.
Guys are the best.
Oh,
My wife is making those cookies where you take like 2 Ritz crackers and put peanut butter between them and then dip them in chocolate.
those are great.
Not
Yeah,
familiar
people
with
seem
them.
to really like them.
Never heard of them before.
Oh,
Me
they're great.
neither, but then like one of my nieces brought them around and everybody was like, what the hell is that? And you know, like so many things, it doesn't seem like it should work, but you know, somehow it does. you know.
Yeah. My
Yeah.
grandma,
It's
she gave
not-
us some cookies too, like chocolate chip and macadamia nut ones.
Nice.
It's chocolate and peanut butter with a little bit of saltiness from the Ritz cracker. It's great.
And butter and buttery.
And butter.
'cause that's
Yeah.
And
So-
butter is because everything's better with butter.
Now we figure out a way to work bacon into this, and we can feed it to the millennials and kill them off.
Yes.
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
All
Bacon.
right, thanks. I like you,
I
Zach.
mean-
You're a good millennial.
I'd be upset, but you know what? I'd eat it till I die.
Be like, I know
Can't
this
complain.
isn't good for me, but doing it anyway.
Welcome to my life.
God, I wish I could have some bacon now.
Shadow's having a steak for Christmas dinner. That's nice.
Yes, him and his dog.
If he can get
Really?
out of bed.
Pretty good long time since I've had bacon.
I was like, ooh, that sounds epic. And I got a new fondue pot.
I just figured
I mean,
Shadow would be up running around and everything after his visitation from the three ghosts from Christmas, past, present, and future.
No. It was the ghosts of gay now, by now, gay later, and you're gay.
Trans future.
Trans future, exactly. Bi, gay, and trans. That's the ghost of visited Shadow.
Well, he's got the house to himself, just him and his gimps in the basement because the wife and kids are down in Mexico.
Well, they look forward to Christmas because they get to have the free reign of the house at that time of year, right? And run around.
You know
Yeah.
what's kind of saw Jackie last night. Man, he's grown up.
Yeah.
They do that though, I guess.
Yeah, they do that.
What was that, Mexicans?
I was thinking kids, but
It was for Hungar. Wasn't not everything's for you, James. Jesus Christ. Let Hungar have his moments of happy.
he was
That-
happy
that-
too. Did you hear that? He
Yeah, I
was-
heard it. Yeah,
Yeah.
joke landed.
He was ecstatic, man. So I'll need to get with Hungar since Hungar owes me anyway, since I bought him a copy of Valorous.
Thank you.
So
What do I owe you?
your life.
Yeah, well, you can have it. You can
That's
have it.
It's like double
A Yugoslavian AK
No.
47.
No, you're not getting my AK until I'm dead.
that was
Well, hurry up then, damn it.
that no was so quick. It's like, nah, I'll give you a lot of things, but that's not one of them.
How long
You
do you
didn't
got?
kid
Rick?
me, but
I'm going to live as long as I can just for spite.
Maybe that's the whole plan. How you doing? Oh, look, she's got her Tom and Jerry shirt on.
Hi, Janet.
Hi, Janet.
Hey, everybody. Merry Christmas.
Yep.
I'm
Merry
just doing
Christmas.
laundry and cleaning house and sewing. That's all I've been doing. Taking it easy, I guess.
Well, I would say nothing because that's all the stuff you should be doing.
Because I'm a girl?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, well, screw you. Don't
Well,
see men do
I-
laundry and stuff too?
I gotta go.
All right,
boys.
later, Bear.
Oh, see you,
Thank you,
man.
Later,
Merry
there.
Christmas
Have
to
fun
you
at
all.
your dinner. Don't
I
get
will not.
diarrhea.
You're not the fucking father of me. You can just fuck right off. Is what you can do with your diarrhea curse. You can put that right up your own name.
Well, have
Not
a good
diarrhea,
time.
just an itchy butthole.
Bye.
For the rest of the night.
Itchy butthole. That's going to be the name of my new punk band.
But don't single guys do laundry and clean up after themselves?
I'm
No,
married.
I
I
I
still
threw
do it.
everything away and bought new stuff.
Wow, you guys must have a lot of money then.
That's what I do with socks. I only wear socks once because that's when they're most comfortable.
Oh,
Not really, because
I-
back then, Walmart, you could get like a pack of 5 t-shirts
I'll
for
be
a
right back.
couple bucks, some socks. I mean, it was like whatever.
And you never have to wash jeans. And with underwear, you just turn them inside out and scrape them clean.
hmm. That's
Pull
not
in
a
it
good-
right.
I definitely feel out of place now because now I hoover my house. I do
Yeah,
the
see my
laundry.
shirt?
I-
Look, it's on the side. See? It's got,
I
Oh
can't-
yeah, it's got them chasing each other.
yeah, it's an old one. This is a really, got it at a vintage place.
I'm talking shit, Sax, but I do the floors here. I scrub the toilets.
Mhm.
Fair
Well,
enough.
good. You need to,
I do Now, my wife, it does seem, does a lot more than I do, but I do my chores and then also I catch whatever she chucks at me during the
Well,
week.
my wife and I, we have a very simple agreement. I will do the one that the jobs that requires quantity. So
Mhm.
like if we need to like do hoovering from like bottom to top, I will do that. I will do all of the what's it called, the mopping. I'll do all of the dusting. Anything that requires just grunt manual labor that is time consuming, I will be given that. Anything that requires more precision or like actual care, then my wife will do that.
Yeah, I do the bathrooms, my old laundry, of course, unless my wife's home. And then I do all the cooking, and the boys do the floors, the dishes, and stuff
I
like
would
that.
do all the dishes and stuff if someone else did all the cooking. I'd be
See,
happy.
The reason I got the chores I got was because I wanted to do all the dirty stuff.
Mhm.
I didn't want my wife to have to scrub like, a toilet or anything. So,
James,
so I'll scrub.
quick question for you, James.
Yes.
How many 40k pirates is a good number of 40k pirates?
Well, when you consider that even a small Imperial ship can have thousands of crew members.
All right, let me put it like this:
I'm
1d5 plus how much? 1, 2, 3, 4 for a pirate principality. Just to give you context of what I'm making.
What? 1d5 times.
Hi again,
1d5.
off grid. Listen along with the parents. What? Actually, you're brave letting your parents listen along with this.
Saxus, I'm going to take a crack at that. You said a small pirate principality, right?
Yes, that's correct.
I would say they would have to have at least 600 people involved.
600 people.
Yes. You're not getting into the full scope of 40k and the size of everything.
No, like I am fully aware that like one ship will have at least 10,000 people working upon it. What I am looking at is like how many ships are we wanting to give a principality?
Oh,
ships?
Yeah, ships.
Ships?
Like I'm
I
setting
thought
up.
you were saying people. Ships.
No.
1.5 plus
yeah.
3.
Plus 3, right? Thanks.
That's easy.
Yeah.
1.
6. I'm going to give them 6 ships.
1 ship.
But they're not going to be all Imperial class battle cruisers. They're going to be like smaller ships.
No. So I'm going to give them 1 light Imperial cruiser, and that is the flagship, and then the 6 is going to be smaller than that.
All right.
I'm building up like I build up a cluster where there's like 3 different solar systems with 3 different setups, and these 7 ships are like the rulers of all these 3. The players can run into them, and it's the whole thing of like, if the players meet them, they're like, well, who the hell are you? And they're like, oh, we're rogue traders. And they're like, we don't know what that is. I was like, what do you mean? It's like, all we know is that you're flying a flag of a ship that in our record says, fuck them up.
Well,
Because-
I mean, yeah, pirates,
No, it's
Pirates
like
be pirating.
yeah, but the players have a ship which is dubbed as a subjugator. Which
Yeah.
within the world of pirates, it's a frigate that comes in and it hunts pirates.
Yep.
So for pirates, they're like, oh, that ship, fuck it up, get after it, throw it into the sun, and
Poor Janet.
and just be happy. Sorry, Janet, I'm hijacking the conversation.
I'm
here.
just trying to understand.
Sure.
You guys are GMs, right?
Yes.
Okay, well,
I kind of stopped
Let's
trying
do
to
it.
explain 40K a lot to my wife because every time I tried, I could literally see her spirit leaving.
No, it's fair enough.
And
So,
I was
Janet,
like,
the symbol.
does she play?
Sorry.
no, not 40K. No.
Okay.
D&D. Does she play D&D or any
Yes.
D&D variant? Oh,
Yes.
Well, then she should understand that there's totally different rules and regulations when you're a GM trying to figure out
No, she understands. She's
now
just sick
and
sick
make
and
it
tired.
interesting, but not so easy that it's boring. You know what I mean?
40K, there's not a lot of women, even women who say that they're into 40K. I find that
What's
90% of them are lying.
What is
It's Space War.
So Warhammer 40,000 is a futuristic world where things have gone quite bad for humanity. You're fighting on the strands of hope to stay alive. You have to do some rather horrible things to live. And in the game that I am running,
Hey,
James,
James,
it's one of the
Alex in the back room.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Yeah. So you're fighting to basically do. You have a chance to do good, but you will still be presented with some rather horrible choices because 40K there isn't a lot of positivity.
that was quick.
The main food in big cities of 40K is called corpse starch. And the way they get it, Janet, is from starch grown from corpses.
Well, we can debate that, Hongar, but that's neither here nor there. My point is, Warhammer 40,000 is a dystopian future where it's not a very happy day, and the players can run into, in this game, they can run into a pirate confederacy where they rule over 3 different solar systems, and they are not very nice about what they do.
Yeah, I can explain it a little better. That you got Lord of the Rings fandom.
That's like the movie Alien.
No, it's worse than that, Janet. You got Lord of the Rings fandom. You got Lord of the Rings fandom, and you ask any fandom, they're like, I'd love to go to Lord of the Rings. You've got a Harry Potter fandom, and all the fans of that would be like, I'd love to go to the Harry Potter universe. You ask any 40K fan if they would like to go to the 40K universe, and these are fans of the system, they're going to be like, no.
Well, I'm going to be playing a game. There's a guy I play with Bruce.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he's starting his own game, and he's made me a character, and she's an alien, and she becomes a anti-hero basically, and it's going to be all to do with outer space and all that. I don't know that much about it, but
Cool.
Has Bruce revealed what system or what game mechanic he is using, or is it his own version?
he hasn't told me yet. They haven't. Well, it's when our game's done. We're supposed to be done with our game.
Right. No, that's fair. That's fine. I was just curious.
About that. I don't know. I'd have to ask them. I
That-
never
that's-
thought there was a difference. I just thought they were all like, by different people. And it's all pretty much the same.
Hey, everybody, I'm going to bounce out of here, and I'm going to sleep.
Okay, see ya.
Right.
Later, Hunger.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah,
Love you.
I'll send you something by January.
Okay, if you want to. You don't have to. You know that. I love you, brother.
Doc.
Hey, what's up?
Hello. How are you doing?
Hey, James.
Hanging in there.
Yeah. I hope you don't mind me asking, but last time I heard from you, things were a bit rough work-wise.
Yes, still
Okay.
kind of are. I have my shrink tomorrow appointment to confirm that I'm not a school shooter in waiting, and then I can theoretically go back to work.
Fair enough. You may want to have some note cards ready for that, because I know I would. I'd be sitting there like, I am a normal person. Yes, I do not use Excel sheets for everything.
Hello,
No, I do
fellow
not-
sane person.
Exactly. But then again, Doc, you've been exposed to me. You know what I'm going to be like.
I just hope they don't take out the ink blocks, because I always just scream and hide under the table. That doesn't play well.
Listen,
Janet mentioned something a little while ago about aliens, right? And 40K is like every sci-fi you've ever heard of, but like cranked to 15. Like everything in it is so over the top that any single thing would be completely unbelievable. But when you put them all together, it makes sense.
It
And
basically
great
overloads
example would
your
be,
suspension of disbelief.
Right.
Anyway,
Like your
it's-
xenomorphs on Kepler 244. Literally, a 5-man squad of Blood Angel Space Marines could have landed and would have exterminated the shit out of every one of them. It wouldn't have even been close.
If I may just briefly interject, it is an acquired taste. It's not for everyone, and that's okay.
And you know what? God help those xenomorphs if an orc rock just happens to hit that.
Oh my god, I have tried to get my players to fight orcs. I just want
Because orcs are giant fungi that don't feel pain and live only to fight. That is their only
What do
motivation.
they
They-
eat?
Everything.
a
And
variety
when I
of
say
things. That's-
everything, I mean literally everything. They
The-
can
the-
eat rocks.
They are omnivores. They are so much fun to play as a game master, and as a player they're fun to get up against because they're just mayhem and they're chaos, and they will do things where you sit and go,
They're green
Why?
because even though they're fungi, they have a symbiotic algae that lives in their skin. So as long as they can get water, they can actually photosynthesize to a degree. So an orc in desperate measures could literally just eat dirt and loam off a forest floor or a tree. They don't like it because it doesn't provide the calories that they really need to build,
And
the
it doesn't
strong
scream.
8 foot tall, 700-pound monster that they're going to be. But yeah, they can pretty much live on anything.
Well, I have to say one thing what Doc said, because he said they don't scream. How do you know? I mean, we can't hear what a tree or a plant sounds make when they die.
Oh, I can. They're
Jan-
annoying
Jan-
as shit.
Janet, I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to interject here, Janet. Sorry. You have opened Pandora's box. You've got several 40k nerds, and once we go, we don't stop. So, just giving you a heads up. Like, tell us to shut up now before we go on a very long tirade.
Yeah, we might want to cut it
Yeah. So I'm just gonna
before
let
this.
you know.
Hey,
Now. Yeah.
If we want
I
to
will-
change,
I will go into a lot of weird shit. Like, I will happily sit and discuss like sci-fi logistical networks because I have a weird obsession. There are certain things in my life that just gets me going. Like, how does the Star Wars Empire supply itself? Well, honky fucking do. Of course, I go and look into that because that is just my bread and water. What is the whole point of living? It's taxation, as Dr. Flamingo is fully aware. You will come into my games. You will go into my fantasy games. Yes, my fucking fantasy medieval games. You will come towards the very cities themselves, and I'll go like, you know what? Here's some paperwork for you to fill out. Yes, in real life. It's right here for you. Would you like to come into my city? You're going to be paying 15% off. What's that treasure you've gotten from the deep dark underworld? Well, we're going to take all the magical items away from you. We're going to identify them. We're going to find out what value they are worth. And we're going to tax you on it. Welcome
Hey,
to my
Saxius.
game.
Because he's Danish.
Saxius,
Hi.
that means that you basically pay the government to identify your stuff for you.
I live in the UK. Yes, of course I do that.
We always had to pay a guy to identify our stuff.
Hey, listen, Timmy, you misunderstand. The government knows what it does.
Oh,
They are
crap.
not required to tell you what it does.
Ah,
They
damn it.
know its value. It's like the IRS. It's like, we know how much you've earned. We
Will you
know
tell
how
us?
much you owe.
No.
No,
What are we
we
supposed
have
to pay you?
we have systems in place for you to know
What's
this.
up, Coco?
Oh, man.
Anyway,
But we
yeah,
want you to
that's-
fill out the papers anyway.
Yeah.
Frontiers and Pathfinder. I wonder if he's going to run Starfinder.
Oh god, I have played Starfinder. I liked Starfinder. I like the concept of Starfinder. I've also played Pathfinder. I've run Pathfinder. I liked both of them. I got my introduction to Starfinder. That really was interesting because the game master said the spaceship that you have is like a submarine. It doesn't have windows because that's structural damage. I'm like, that makes perfect sense. And the space combat genuinely had the group unite for the insanity we would do to win.
Yeah, that's a thing that a couple of newer sci-fi games have been doing, where they force the group into like different positions within the ship, and then you have to, like the sensor guy has to do his job in order for the next person to do their job. And
I don't mind having play.
I like it.
At the end of the day, I want the players to engage. And that's really all I want. I'm sure, Janet, as a player, you want a game that basically makes you go like, okay, what can I do? Even if it's like a fantasy version where you've got a big galleon, you've got about 24, or let's say 12 cannons on each side. You want one person to be doing like the whole calculation, like, okay, the trajectory is going to be this amount. That's going to give a bonus to the next player. Then the next player is going to be doing a bunch of like calculations for making sure that they steer it the right way. Then the right person is going to be timing it and then shooting it, and then depending on the previous two people, they will then get a bonus to then hit. Sounds engaging.
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree or yes? Yes, no, maybe.
Yeah. The thing is that I like it, us not knowing what's going to happen. And we just have to react when he springs something on us. And some of us will catch it and some of us won't. I finally, for my first time, I guess I finally was thinking about it. Because normally if somebody said that certain thing was happening and that you all have to roll, something to protect yourselves to see whether or not you're affected by it. And then I was sitting there thinking, I thought I cast a spell earlier to protect us from these evil things or whatever. And I just said, hey, how can you do that to all of us characters and kill half of us when I already put this spell before we went into the room or whatever? And he was like, you did. so it didn't matter. And the thing is, though, he gave me a kudos, he said, because I did remember it and I had taken notes. So I'm learning as I go. But before, I would never have said anything because I would have thought, oh, it's wrong. I'm not right. You see what I mean?
Now,
so
first and foremost, Janet,
outspoken.
Spot on. Well done. That is absolutely. I absolutely congratulate my players as well for sitting and remembering what they've done previous sessions or even like 2 hours ago in the same game. As a game master, I have a lot of things that are happening at the same time, as I'm sure James is aware of and Doc is aware of. You juggle a lot, so having a player that can sit and go, well, actually, heads up, I did this, which has this impact, and as a game master, you go, oh, but the enemy wouldn't know, so they would still do it, but you now have this advantage, which means you catch them flat-footed. Aha, well done, well played. That's
and that's what he did. But before, I would have done it, and I wouldn't say anything because I thought I can't be right because I'm just a nobody. You know what I mean?
No.
So I started taking notes, and I decided this time I just raised my hand and said, I think we're all protected from that. And I was right. So I was happy about it. I was, it made me feel empowered because I felt like I actually made a good decision and I saved half our team from dying. So
absolutely.
I thought that was great. But we play 6 to 8 hour games when Bruce plays. So
yeah.
Those are endurance sessions. I see those online.
So
I go to bed, I wake up, it's still on. Like, damn.
But that's all I've ever played until I played my first game with Bear, and it was a 2-hour game. I was like, wow, this is way different. So, but I still try to keep notes.
Yeah, but Bear's very like, this is happening. Now moving from this to this to this. Which again, I like that. Don't get me wrong. I want to make sure things happen because we've got time schedules. We need to get things done, and like the game that you said Bruce is running, where it's a 5 to 6 hour game. It's like, cool. You have a lot more leeway. You can role play things out. You can get into the minutia. You can do all of these things, which is good. As a player, you want to get your teeth into that. It's definitely it's down to the game that you're running and what you want out of the system.
Yeah, that's what. So far, I've only played a few different games, so different games.
Saturday night games can last a very long time.
Yeah, well, there's a big difference too between in person and online. Online games, if they go too long, can get like people can start zoning out and stuff pretty easily.
Well,
it's different when you're all at a table.
I got to join a game that supposedly he started when he lived in his apartment in Illinois, and half the players had been playing since he started in his apartment. So I felt like really privileged that they allowed me to join. They picked me up along the way of whatever. and I've learned that way. But it's really been a lot of fun, and I've died. So
As
you
one
know,
should.
Yeah.
I
Dying's not bad.
bad.
It gives you a chance to
This
play
is
another
good
character.
approach. And I don't roll very good. You know, I'm a terrible roller. My rolls are stinky because he can ask me to roll for someone else, you know, the archer or something, and I roll really well. And then it's my turn. I get 2s, 4s, stuff like that. So
Yeah,
just bad luck.
Yeah,
I know how that feels too. Yeah.
I do that as a game master. I mean, it's to the point of where one of my players actually said, "I would never do this in any other campaign, but I know who's rolling the dice, so I feel lucky." And then they would go and do something absolutely insane. I'm like, well, let's see how well the enemy does. Well, would you look at that natural 1? They're not doing that well. I mean,
One thing, Janet, I think you've probably already saw
Mm-hmm.
is that most gamers, even people you don't know, like Bruce,
Mhm.
are pretty open-minded about letting people in the games if they have room. So I mean, you hear some people talk, especially on Twitch or Twitter or whatever, about how when they were young they wanted to play D&D, but they weren't allowed because they were a girl, and that's bullshit, because every game group I was ever in high school would have killed to get some women at the table.
Well,
You know what I mean?
didn't get
Oh
turned
yeah,
down.
we actively
because of that.
recruited because there were so few at the like in the 80s.
Yeah, it was like-
I wanted to play, except I was an Air Force brat, and we moved almost every year and a half, and no one wanted to add me to their game because I was going to be leaving, not because I was a girl. I wanted to play, and that's why when I told Bruce what I wanted to play and asked him lots of questions about it, and he helped roll and get me a character, my first character, and I just play
The
her.
crying card.
I see her playing, you know what I mean? And I like that part of it. That's the fun part, is getting to pretend to be someone else for a short amount of time and think the way they might think. That's
Yeah.
it. So.
Your whole party's dying, and you're just sitting there playing the flute.
That was a very.
down your eyes.
Well, the thing is, I tried to tell them, that the comments on the wall say, "Don't open that door." But they wanted to open it, so I said, "Well, how far away am I from the stairs or the rope?" And he said 90 feet, and I said, "Well, that's where I'm going."
Yeah,
I did.
That's,
And I lived. But that was fun. We laughed. We laughed.
That was a fun game.
That was hilarious to watch. It was definitely capturing the old school
His dog
D&D.
always made me laugh. Like when he's like, what's it called? The RPG is a person that he writes up to play with us. Is that what that's called?
NPC.
NPC.
Yeah.
He had that real tall Amazonian NPC player, and she's crawling on the ground. See, I could just walk because I was a little, real small.
Yeah, you are.
And
Well, halfling.
her and Doc are crawling along, and she gets pissed off because it's taking too long to get up to where they want to go. So she stands up and gets shot in the throat with an arrow. And as soon as she hits the ground, Doc's like, "I'm going to dig a hole and bury her right here." We were just rolling.
I've got to say, Doc,
It was
you are
fun.
giving way too much respect for the NPCs, because I'd look at them and go, "I will not remember your name until you've survived at least 5 sessions. You are but a number to me. You are a mule. You should be looking at me this exact same way, because we right now are just mercenaries to be thrown into the meat grinder. Welcome to OSE. This is what we're meant to
I
be
was
doing."
playing a very zealous cleric.
Yeah, I
It's
like
going
that.
to be like at the beginning of Platoon when the new guys show up and the guy's like, "Don't even tell us your name." So we don't even.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
You guys
absolutely.
survived 6 months in the.
They won't
nuns,
waste
so
their
you
time
don't
on
wanna know.
No, exactly.
No names.
Nope.
We go by class and race.
Exactly. Like that's the game. It's like
So
you're
what
in
would
here.
you think about a character who wants to join your game and they sign up and then you say, "What is your name?" and you say 1. Because next week it's going to be number 2.
Fine.
I think
I
that'd
mean,
be
to be honest, though, like OSE definitely gives me the vibes. Of
Yeah, I
like,
was
hey,
wondering
what's
if you
your
were making a joke about Juan.
no number 1. My name is 1.
uno?
Yeah, and
Uno,
then
dos,
tomorrow,
tres,
2,
cuatro.
and then 3 and 4.
Yeah, exactly.
multiplicity or something. I just think it
Or
was.
you're
Well,
like,
the player
hello, I
version of
am
that is
Charles.
John, son of John.
Exactly. My name is Dan. Dan the First. Hello, I am Dan the Second. I am the child of Dan the First. Like, how old was Dan the First? Oh, he was technically 18. How old are you? I am 26. I'm like, how does that work? He was my stepfather, but I took upon his name. It's like, well, how does this family tree work? It's like, well, you see, a lot of lonely single mothers is just what we marry into.
You got a tree with one branch and one sticking out like that.
Exactly.
Well,
It's
no,
a-
remember
it's
he
like I
said
said,
that
it's a
Dan 1
zigzag.
was the stepdad.
Toro.
So what
Yeah.
happened is Dan 1 married a widow who had a grown-up daughter, and then Dan
Three
2 married the grown-up daughter, which made the grown-up daughter Dan 1's granddaughter. And then they had a kid, which become his great-grandson.
I'd like to interject here.
Anyway,
I'd like to interject.
in the
here.
end, he ended up being his own grandpa.
It's all explained by this chart. It's all just Dan's with
Yeah.
arrows.
Dan, stepmom.
You got a cork board with a bunch of little sticks in it with strings going to each character.
So an actual serious campaign that I had was for Pendragon, which is why you're meant to be playing as Knight of the Arthurian Legends. And as a part of that, you have to roll up and you are a knight. You are given an allotment or a village where you have to look after it. You know, it's quite serious. There's a lot of like political intrigue. You have to go and secure the borders. You have to fight off evil Vikings. You have to defend yourself against evil Picts or Scots or Irishmen. And there's the strange fae, really mythological things, and you're looking at it going like, okay, this is quite interesting, it's very mythological. What did my players do? They discovered that there's an entire subsector of rules regarding marriages, political intrigue, marrying off, and the whole prospect of you have to have kids to marry off and create alliances. One of the players at the very beginning, I basically said, I want to play the mountain. I'm like, you know what? Fine, I'll make one exception for you. You will play the mountain. I'll give you a +1 to your size. He rolled the biggest size. He was generally like 2 foot 30 centimeters. Sorry, 2 meters 30 centimeters. That was like 7 feet 50 or 7 feet 5 foot inches or something like that. Ridiculously big for the medieval times where the average height was 5'6". Just ridiculous. He was creating more daughters than anyone else. And we were generally sitting there going like, my dude, what are you doing to your NPC wife? Like, you have way too many daughters. How have she survived this? The mortality rate alone, the statistics would have killed
Yeah,
her.
every time a baby come out, you're rolling the die.
And I did. I made him roll it several times over. I even gave him a
Unfortunately,
penalty.
Janet wouldn't have been able to play the original version of that game.
No, so the original version did not allow for female
Women.
characters. Yeah, exactly.
You
But
were not
that's-
allowed to play a female knight. So if you
Well,
were a
that's-
female player and you wanted to play that game, you had to play like
Exactly. Well, that's
a nun or something.
but that was the game of that.
I always played a character that like I played a gnome that like cooked and gathered stuff in the woods and made different foods, and she also to charm guys with, but then she would shoot arrows basically from a distance. And then the other girl, she was a cleric, and then the one I have now is she's a priest now. She's that high, but all mine have been caregiver mostly characters.
And
There is an
you
addition.
might want to be a witch.
Yeah, there's an edition of Pendragon that allowed for spell users. I think it was 4th.
Fourth or
One
fourth
of
or
them,
fifth.
maybe.
No, yeah,
but-
4th or 5th. I did read up on it, and the magic is bonkers. So I told my players, no, you're not allowed to do this. Get the fuck off my lawn and go to the.
Yeah, I don't
latest
think
edition.
I'd like it either.
One
No,
thing
I
I was
played
looking at
Pendragon.
doing
I
is
want it to be more like
You're meant to
original
be-
Pendragon. Right?
Yeah, you're meant to be knights. You're meant to be all of this. My place went down the whole thing of like Crusaders and Pendragon, where they were hyper fixated on creating an economy. They were hyper fixated on like doing intermarital things, and I had to make like an entire like hidden tree of like who was married to who, and it just became a mess for my eyes. It was funny, but it was not what the game was meant to be.
Now, wait. With the guy who was the mountain, was he just trying to get like a son for an heir, or is it just like
No, he wanted to. His entire interest was to marry other villages to fold underneath his banner.
okay,
So he didn't.
okay,
So he didn't care if it was a boy or a girl. He was just making heirs, and then he was
Okay.
promising them to the other villages, basically going, "I've got this son. As long as he lives until his age is 4, you will get him, and then we will all unite on these things." And it was just absolute. But that's not the
Okay.
worst. That's not the worst thing.
Realistic.
No, James. Let me just do this one, James. The worst. So there was 2 horrible things that happened in that campaign. One was one player had his son abducted by the Fae. The player forgot for 8 sessions in a turn or in a row, and every session is 1 year of your character. So for 8 years, he forgot that he had a son, and then he went like,
God.
"Oh wait, I have a son. I need to go. I need to go and get him." So he rounded up all the players. They ran into the woods, as you do, and they got lost. They got so lost they got split out like 4 different times, and it was by an absolute miracle that the pagan found the main character of that quest, rounded up with them, and they found the Fae that had his son, and they were like, "Hey, we'd like to hand him back." And they basically went, "Well, we're not going to give you something for nothing. If we're giving up a son, we need to take a son in return." And the player just turned around and looked at the other player and went, "You're a man, so would you oppose to this? This is like your god, isn't it?" And they agreed. Yeah, absolutely. They switched around, and I made that player
That's
go.
hilarious.
I made that player go to the pagan knight's wife to explain why her husband was not coming home. And the wife sat there and went, "You can at least tell me to my face if my husband has run away with a hussy." And the player sat there and went, "You know what? I don't want to deal with this."
That's a better story.
Yeah, but the players went, "No, I've told him he has run away with the fairies. I'm not going to explain shit. I'm just going to go home."
See, that's why that game would work better if it were set like in Russia, because you could just go to the wife and be like, a Rasaka got him.
Yeah, I
And
know.
the wife would be like, "Yeah, makes sense."
Yeah,
You know?
it didn't work in this case. That player who had to do the explanation got a bad reputation, and things sort of spiraled from there.
Yeah.
But it's neither there. The second
Yeah, we
fun
were
thing-
adventuring, and he went just a little too close to a stream, and next thing you
No,
know,
thanks,
he
is-
was just gone.
Go on, Timmy.
Whenever I think if I ever get to play Pendragon, I feel like that would happen to me, where I'm
Yeah.
trying to get like a son for an heir, and every time it's just a daughter. Every time I'm like, "Come on!"
But so the second fun thing was I was keeping track of like everyone's lineages and their heritages, and one of the players ended up in a position where he would not inherit his mansion. He had to play a character that wouldn't inherit it. So he was like, "So who's going to inherit it?" It was like, "Oh, it's going to be this 8-year-old boy that your main character sired, but you are playing as the bastard of." And it was like, "I would like to take the 8-year-old out on a horse riding, on a hunt."
Oh no!
And he put the 8-year-old boy on the biggest, most aggressive horse he could find and slapped it as hard as he could on the back. That boy went into a coma, and the player went,
Oh,
"Oh no, what happened? Oh no!" It
What's
made
funny though is in real life, way back when you'd have a king or whatever that had bunches of daughters, they killed all the women because they thought it was the women's fault when it was all his fault.
that's called King
Kept
Henry VIII.
producing.
Yeah, that's just called
Well,
Henry. two.
exactly. King Henry VIII.
The rest of them, they just
My
married
own
them off.
dad had 5 daughters with 2 different mothers. So he even did it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like I'd have like a 5th daughter. Then my character died. I'd be like, well, I guess I'm playing a woman next.
I like.
Yeah, she's gonna pretend to be a knight. I'm
But
gonna do
you
this.
can't have babies without women. So I can see
Yeah,
why
they're very important.
we're
For that.
important.
Oh, yeah,
Marrying
no,
them
again.
off to the princes and the other hierarchy people if they were attractive girls.
Yeah,
Or you
the
could
new one I think has rules for
take
that if you
on
die
lots of
without
land.
heirs. You can
No,
bring
there
in
is-
like
there-
cousins and stuff.
Oh yeah, there is rules regarding all of that. I
Yeah.
I find Pendragon a lot of fun because depending on what group you have, you will either have the people who are like, oh, I want to be knights, I want to go to the tournaments, I want to do this, I want to go and fight, evil mythological creatures.
Mhm.
And then you have my group, who is like, I'm sorry, Oscar, you're saying that I can get a mill and I can earn 2 entire shillings every year? Well, my good sir, I will go and I will burn the nearby village who has a mill so that I can have the intellectual knowledge of the mill. I will kidnap the miller of the nearby settlement so that I am the one who controls the mills. I had 3 players fight over who could be the ones who actually owned a horse ranch. They genuinely started killing each other because they're like, I will be the supplier of horses in this region.
They're all entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
They are something. They are
Yes,
something. But like the moment they discovered
Just very aggressive negotiations.
this is like, oh my fuck. Sorry, I'm just remembering more parts of that campaign. One of the players genuinely started building dams, actual freaking dams, because he realized the geographical location of where we were playing, and he was like, the Vikings will only come from the south. I will build dams to stop them from reaching us. I was like,
Did it work though?
Smart idea.
It did.
Okay,
They had a
well then,
huge battle against the Vikings at the south, against where they had to cross rivers and people were drowning, and there was a big bottleneck against one of the bridges, and one of the knights was genuinely called for a coward by one of the rivals because he was using archers. And they were like, how dare you use archers? That's not very chivalrous of you. You're killing people from a distance. You should be up there with a sword and a spear and fighting them in the face. And they went, no. What? No. What's wrong with you? We need to
Look,
do this
they're dead, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. And the Duke of the region was like, what's wrong with you people? Like, these people are clearly getting it right. Well, that Duke died of old age, and his son came in and went, gentlemen, we have a problem in this region. We have too many pagans. And we have a river nearby. We have 2 options. There will either be a surge of Christianity or a sudden drowning of bathing.
people were just floating by and we're like,
People
wow.
were converted. They were converted to the afterlife. Or
Say, yeah,
to
we're
Christianity.
baptizing you.
Yeah, you found God, or you found the drowned God. One of the 2 of them.
They found God one way or the other.
Exactly. So the players had to go through that, and then they went through the Civil War, and then I sped up a little bit, and they had to go and they had to meet the actual King Arthur. And there was one player I was like, if you fucking do what I think you're gonna do, I will murder your character right here now. Like I messaged him like, you fuck this scene up. I will do things to your character and your house that will rival Game of Thrones.
That's pretty scary.
It is, because it's in Pendragon. You are not playing a sandbox.
Yeah.
You are playing out the storyline of Pendragon, which is 150 sessions. Like, if you take the actual campaign, it's 150 sessions pre-made for you, which is lovely for a weird person like me. But it does mean that you have moments like King Arthur pulling out the sword and the stone. And that's a
This
major...
is just the campaign.
Exactly, right?
Wow.
Exactly. And like,
So
This is
you
the
played
rules.
before
This is
too, there?
just the campaign.
I mean, Doc, you've played it before?
I have not played it. I've just got all the books.
What can I help you with?
I'm thinking about running this at some
Yeah,
point.
well,
If I could free
No.
myself up, Doc, I'd love to drag you
Okay,
into a
maybe.
campaign of that. I think you would enjoy it.
You know, Doc, if it's online, and I'm open to playing.
Yeah, I've been looking at. I think there'd be fairly easy with a little work to meld Ars Magica as a magic system to this.
Well, so magic-wise, you can do whatever you want by the later editions because magic is whatever you want it to be because you're not meant to use it. Magic is meant to be the GM says something happens and it happens. Why? Because you're not magicians. You can't do anything. Merlin is the closest person that you're gonna come to. Well, Merlin and Morgana, if I got my name right. Yeah. They're meant to be like. Yeah, Morgana. Yeah, they're meant to be the big two that you meet that actually does magic and elves, but elves.
Well,
are
Must be
scary.
Morgan.
Yeah, you got to remember
Who's
that
Morgan Le Fay?
Merlin
person?
was supposed to be
Yeah,
the
same
son of
Morgana
an
and
incubi.
Morgan Le Fay.
So Merlin was half of a demon.
He was.
And then Morgan Le Fay. Any guesses on what Le Fay might mean? I mean, I know French ain't my first tongue, but yeah.
Let's read
I
this.
think it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious.
Well, do share with us the ones who don't speak French.
Yeah. Dan married Jane 6. Dan 1 married Jane 6. Oh, that's like that. I recently read it, the Russian book. What's it called?
Oh, the
All about a
really old
character named
dystopian.
Z with a bunch
Yeah,
of
that's
numbers.
weird.
And they all live in like glass houses so that you're constantly being watched. And
Yeah, that's we.
yeah. So I finished my Terminators and my
Nice.
Nice.
these are the Saturnine Dreadnoughts. Look at that
Cool.
beast.
Oh, yeah.
These wouldn't be able to do anything on Kepler except stand back and blow shit up with plasma cannons, but because they wouldn't fit down any of the halls in the alien Terranization whatever plant.
Well, definitely. Like, sorry to bring it back to Pendragon. I had a
No,
lot of
you
fun.
can talk about Pendragon all you want.
I had a lot of fun with Pendragon. I would recommend it. It is definitely a very role play.
Another very good
It's a good,
Chaosium game.
it's a good Chaosium game. It's very role play heavy because the mechanics are not like, oh, I have multiple things I can do. It's like, I roll. You either hit and you do no damage, or you hit and you get a critical, and someone will die in horrible ways.
Yeah, the
Because
combat
that's-
is savage in that game.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know.
you either live or you die, but that's because you've got armor, and then things will go down. Now, I went down the route of actually looking up what was happening in the world at that time. I did look up what was the cost of the Venetian crossbowmen and everything in between. I did look up the variety of wealth that was found within the different regions because again I'm a sick man and I've got problems. So we did that in my campaign. But it's a game where you play in a more historic environment. It's a game where you going to court is important. It's a game where you turning around and saying, I would actually want to listen to my peasants to hear what ails them to ensure that you can then help them. And where
Instead of being
decision
murdered by them.
exactly instead of being murdered by them, exactly. Because it's a game where your choices in this session will have consequences, even generations down the line. For your future characters, because every session your character ages by 1 year, and most characters don't make it to 30. So you have to think ahead.
Game of Night was a pretty dangerous job.
Yeah, well, yeah, but like you had periods of like a night where, like, again, if we're gonna go by Pendragon, you would have periods where you would be spending like a year or like 5 years protecting the borders and nothing would happen. Then you would go through like a year and a half of intense warfare in Cornwall and you come back and there'll be a long period of peace. Then Uther will die, and you're going to have 20 years of civil war. Oh, sorry, not 20, 16 years of civil war.
Wow. Yeah, that's a
And
lot.
you would
That's
have
why
to
the
choose
men like it so
side by
much,
side
'cause
you're
it's
going
fighting.
to fight.
Sorry, what was that, Janet?
I said that's why men seem to like it so much, is because there's so much
There you
combat
go.
fighting.
Oh, okay.
Because
Okay.
all the guys I know, they want to do the, the shooter games and the, the swords and that kind of stuff, and they all want to do battles and all that stuff. All the time.
Well, I mean, Pendragon
Not always that.
doesn't have to
Actually-
be like that. I mean,
No. There's a lot of other things in it. It's a
it's
lot
just
of management.
they're trying to simulate the fact that in that time period they only ever fought wars, generally speaking, during a particular period of the year.
Yeah.
And then they had to be home in time to harvest the fields.
Yeah.
So it would be like you plant the fields, then you go to war, but you got to be home to harvest, and then winter comes, and no one in Western Europe wanted to fight war in the winter.
No.
There are definitely certain,
Basically, you would go home, after, for harvest, and then you would, work on family things that
Yeah.
you need to do.
Knock your wife up, or try
Yeah.
to marry a
It-
daughter
it-
off, or something.
the reality was that wartime was summertime.
Yeah.
During the spring, you would harvest your land. There were rules within Western Europe, like England, where they'll be like, right, the frost has just thawed. You're working your fields now for the next 3 months. Once that's done, we're going to go and we're going to fight. We're going to fight for maybe 2 months at most, at absolute most. Then we're going to go home. We're going to harvest it. We're going to prepare for winter. And then we're going to settle in and we're going to be nice and steady because we don't want to die. No one fights during winter. That's absolute insanity. It's insane to fight during winter.
Unless the Russians.
Well, we're not in Russia. We're not in Eastern Europe.
That's too
Those-
bad.
Those crazy bastards can go and do terrible things to each other.
Because
at
when
their own time.
Olag died on
If you can-
accident at the hands, kind of, but not really, of Yarapolk,
Mhm.
then Vladimir returned from the sea where he had been Viking, raised an army, and they went at it right in the middle of the winter.
No,
I mean,
Jesus Christ.
But then again, it was a bunch of possibly Swedes and Slavs.
Hmm.
yeah,
And
but-
then, of course, Vladimir wanted to marry the daughter of this lord, which this would work in Pendragon, but she found out that even though his father had been Yaropolk the First, his mother had been like a maid, a Slavic woman. So she insulted him and said that he was a slave and a half-breed and blah, blah, blah. So, of course, Vladimir and all of his Vikings had to destroy that whole castle and kill everyone in it except for her. But before he killed her parents, he made sure they got to watch him take her. And then he killed them. And then she was his wife. But then eventually he sent her ass back to Novgorod because she kept trying to kill him.
Yeah, but Eastern Europe is just a lovely place where history is painted in the color of red, and it's many variants.
Oh, yeah. Like the movie The Northman,
Yeah,
the very first
You
part of
could
that
see
movie, they're
how-
in Russia. raiding for
But you
slaves.
could see how people would, like you'd have, let's say you have 4 different realms, okay? And this one is the one, the wealthiest one. And 2 of the poorest ones are jealous because they're tired of being poor and always having to build everything, raise food or whatever, to always have to give it to the richest ones because they had more wealth or whatever. But somehow they find, let's say they find a magical sword or something like that. So they use that sword to find one person that can wield the sword. And then they use that to go to the second realm, the third one, the one that's like in between that tries to stay out of it and just sucks up to the rich one, and take someone from there, bring them back to theirs. And then they come up with a scheme on how they can keep them, the rich people, from coming to their 2 places during the summer and start war. So basically, they figure out how to hide food and stuff somewhere so that when they do come, there's not enough food to keep the rich people fed in the winter. See what I mean? So then when spring comes, the two healthy, fat and brawned up people from the two poorest areas go in and take over the rich ones, because now they're all like got scurvy and
Well,
they're
and
wormy or whatever
particularly,
else. You know what I mean?
talking
So
about-
that would be really cool to figure out how to do something like that. That would be what I would be doing, is to try to rally my
Well, you're
people.
smarter than they are.
Well, that's what I like to do. That's the thing I like to do, is how can we get in there, weaken them, even because they got big heads. All they're thinking about is how they look in their uniforms and how beautiful their women are. They're
Did you
they're
know? Do you know how
narcissists.
you
So
said
how can
like
we take
one of
advantage
them's rich, Janet?
Yeah.
Yarapulk, because he was the first son of his father, Yarapulk,
Mhm.
was given the realm of Kiev. And no, I will never call it Kiev, because fuck that. It's Kiev. His second brother, Oleg, was given a lesser kingdom. Oh, never mind. And then the third brother was considered to be a whatever. So he just went out on long ships raiding all over the Baltic, So what you're talking about, the whole war started because Oleg was out hunting for what they call an arak, which is like a big ass buffalo thing, right?
Yeah.
And his hunting party encountered Yarapulk's hunting party. And they tried to make a deal where they would split the arak, but then, things went the way they went and people started getting killed. So then Yarapulk brought his army to chase Oleg, and Oleg tried to run into the castle of this third guy. See, like you said, the third realm. But when he was trying to cross over the trench to get to the drawbridge, which was up, he fell off his horse and fell into the trench, which was full of spikes.
Yeah.
And it killed him. So then that made Yarapulk guilty for the blood of his brother Oleg. And then, it goes on from there. As a matter of fact, I'll send you the link to the movie. It's on YouTube for free. It was made in Russia in like 2016. Amazing movie. And you'll see how people actually really lived, in those times.
What's
Yeah.
the name?
Russians, because the Byzantines are involved.
Yeah,
and
what's the name of the movie again?
the Vikings.
The Vikings. I might have seen that.
Okay,
I saw
But it's
something.
Russian, and it's 2016, I believe, and it's dubbed in English, and the dubbing's pretty good, and the acting's great.
Well, I don't mind movies that have subtitles, things like that either. Sometimes they're
Well,
really good.
It's dubbed in English. You won't need subtitles. But he does basically grape the woman that he makes his wife in front of her family to punish her.
Yeah.
And then she tries to kill him a bunch of times, and eventually he sends her ass to Novgorod. Because he's like, yeah, I'm done with you. Get out of here.
Can't deal with it anymore.
And then Coco, Vladimir had to collect a shit ton of gold and stuff to hire a bunch of Vikings to fight for him when Kiev was under siege by the Penichegs, which are basically Proto-Mongolians that lived in Central Eurasia. I mean, they even looked Asian. You would think they were, okay, I'll catch you later. Go cook your dinner.
Okay, well, I just didn't want to interrupt, but I wanted to say bye to everybody. It was nice seeing you, Doc.
Yeah.
You too, Janet. Yeah, I gotta bolt myself. They're waiting on me.
Yeah, I got a couple things I got to get done, but thank you for letting me hang out for a little bit.
Well, I mean, I just thought it was amazing that what you were describing is an actual, because the movie The Vikings is real. It happened.
Well, I'm just saying from his, the way he described how the game is played, that's what I would do if I was on it, depending on, the roll of the dice and where I ended up first. You know what I mean?
Right.
Once I was there, I would try to figure out how do you outsmart. That's why I never want to play a character that is rich and used to getting everything they want and things like that. To me, that's boring. It's easy to do that. It's
See,
the
one of these
part
days-
is to try to get as much as you can to give to others, but not because they didn't do anything to earn it, to get others to want to improve their own selves and their own environment around them. And the only way to do that is by showing them that they have potentially everything they need to be able to be successful and do that. And then it's just like a kid. The first time they get their first check, and they go, wow, look, this is money I earned, And then when they buy something with their own money, they tend to take care of it more, and look at it differently than everything you just handed them. See what I mean? Earning something and earning your pride for yourself, I think makes a difference in your own being, So that's how I play. I try to play and help other people do that for themselves. So, that's one thing that Bruce said. That's why he liked it, because when I first joined his game, I was higher than normal person because they were already like, 12 and 14 levels, stuff like that. So they put me in like, I think at 9. So I wouldn't be such a wimp to everyone else. So I went in and the first thing we did, we was going through the woods and there was peasants running past us. And this one woman, and he's describing what's going on. And he said, this one woman ran past us. She's holding her limp child and she's running. And I said, I want to stop that woman. I want to find out what happened. And then he says, okay. So he explains, and all the guys are going, oh, like, what a pain in the ass, because they just want to go battle or whatever. And I said, what happened? And he said that my child was killed and my farm was, damaged. My husband was murdered. They killed most of our animals and stuff. But I'm trying to get back to Baldur's Gate or whatever it was to be with my parents. I'm going to take my daughter with me and I'm going to bury her or whatever. And I was like, and I looked at everybody in the group and I said, I want to bring her child back to life. And they were like, oh, and I said, well, how much does it cost? Whatever I have, I'm going to spend it and do that. Yeah, it was diamond dust and some other things we had to have, which I had in my bag because that's what my character was. So I decided to do that. And the wizard that was in our group said, okay, I'll help. So we bring the baby back to life, and the woman is so thankful that she gives me her farm. She says, I'm gonna let you have our farm. It was a big farm, had all this, and now then they're all cheering, yay, now we have a place we can grow stuff and grow beer or make our own beer or whatever. They're all excited about that. But I was just happy that we brought her daughter back to life, and that kind of stuff. So, and then someone had already given me some magic hops and beans or whatever and stuff. And so I gave it to the team and let them make beer or whatever. But the thing is, he said it changed the group that was basically a bunch of rogues into people that wanted to be a team, that before used to pick locks and steal and everything. And now they're all working to achieve a goal, and he said that because of me, it changed the dynamic of the game. But the thing is, I didn't know I was going to do that. All I did was tell him what I wanted to be. And he helped me roll the character or whatever to become the character I was. And, you just don't know what's going to happen until you start to play. But I just knew that that's what my character would want to do, at the time.
Of course, it's what I would want to do.
Do what?
That's what I would want to do.
Yeah. See, so that's what I'm saying.
Whenever I ever get to play, I always play the good guy. So,
my
I
character wasn't really nice. She was kind of deviant. She was out for herself, but she still tried to help others. But they had to be smart enough to listen to,
If I ever get to play Hyperborea, I'm going to play a lawful evil cleric of the god of murder, and this is going to be my character.
Janet, your character reminds me a little bit of my gnome rogue or thief.
Oh, really?
Gnomes are never cool.
Gnomes are always cool.
It was fun because when Beer asked me to play, he asked me one to be, and I was like, well, what do you already have? And so I looked through the few characters that were left, and I was like, I want to pick the weakest, the weakest character I could think of. So she would have to use her wits, to survive. And
I'd
that's what I
love
wanted to
to.
try because it was something different than what I already had. So I chose the gnome, but he was like, "What?" You know, he wasn't too happy about it, but it worked out pretty good. And plus, I wanted to dress up, you know, so I got to use my.
I
my
talk smack about gnomes, but they're the only littles that I allow in my homebrew world. I don't
Yeah, but-
allow halflings or anything.
And what I mean by that is more like my gnome thief after a little bit, because my gnome thief used to be like the most selfish character, wanting to become like a criminal kingpin, and instead almost died and started doing less evil stuff.
No, gnomes in my world are. If you're gonna play them, you have to play one. You have to play the gnomes that have run away from the gnome society, because I have made it so that you've got the gnomes and the gnomies. So the gnomes are a caste system. You are either an engineer gnome or you are a magic gnome. And the two of them work together to further the gnome agenda, which is to slowly but surely influence the world. And because they have a bonus of having a higher intellect, you often find them being the mercantile princes, the bankers, the advisors, and they're just using that intellect to influence the world. And then they use the magic members, because they're specializing in illusions. They often have illusions be the things that kills their enemies. So it's this like pseudo Illuminati world trade cartel that I use to like sort of influence. So it's a whole like joke of like, oh, we don't want to go against the tall hats, which is what they refer to as the gnomes, because they always wear these like stupid cartoonish pointy hats. It's like, no, you don't mess with the tall hats, because like that's money, that is old, that's deep money, that goes all the way up to the Baron, and you don't want to mess with
we
that.
had a president that warned us about gnomes once.
I didn't know that.
They killed him, but he did say, "Beware the gnomes of Zurich."
Well, James, talking about presidents, have you heard about the new Trump-class battleship?
Nope, don't want to. I think since everybody wanted to leave, we're just going to all leave.
Yeah, I gotta go, but I wanted to say thank you to guys, everybody. It was fun, and I hope I get to do this again sometime. I enjoy it.
Well, I stream a lot, so anytime you want.
See
So
you,
I'll
James.
let you know.
Yeah,
Bye,
take care.
guys.
Bye.
Yeah.
Catch you later, Saxius. Your game sounds fun. I've been running actually Hyperborea, which appeals to me because of how weird it is and the whole Lovecraft, Clark Ashton Smith, R.E. Howard feel of it.
Oh, definitely, because it's all based on like what's it called, like Conan.
Rules
Conan
wise,
was.
it's just like a cleaned up AD&D.
Yeah, like I've got
the world is really weird, you know. Like I added the Cats of Ulthur to the city where the characters were, which means there's an edict in that city: a human may never kill a cat under any circumstances upon penalty of death. But these particular cats are smart. And sometimes when the second moon is closest to the realm, they'll climb up on the tall roofs of the city and jump to the moon, where apparently they get into wars with moon beasts.
Right. I mean, listen, you got to embrace it when you go into that kind of world.
Yeah. But there are no demi-humans in this world. Everyone's human.
No. I do remember reading up on was it like Amazing Swords and Sorcerers of Hyperborea.
Like my wife is playing a Viking berserker.
Yeah, like it's the variants of humans is just depending on the kingdom you come from, which I do like.
Yep. Well, there are two types of humans that can't reproduce, which is Atlanteans and Hyperboreans. They can only reproduce with their own kin. But pretty much the Cimmerians, which are basically like the Kurgan, and the Celts, which are exactly what that sounds like, and all the other people that exist, you know, they can mix. You can play just a common human, or you can play someone from a particular tribe. But yeah, it's been pretty neat, you know. they're in the main city now, which is huge.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens, but I don't sandbox it entirely, but I do let the players make a lot of decisions about what they want to do.
Which is fair enough, yeah.
But I will catch you guys later. I'm going to go hang out with the wife.
I'll
Sounds
see you
good.
then.
For a little bit. Christmas for her.
Yeah, of course.
Yep.